everyone, it's Edna here. Welcome to my new series about interpretation, and today I'll bring the Beethoven Sonata, the Tempest, the last movement, and I'll compare the versions of Yves Nat and Wilhelm Backhaus. So both are great pianists who recorded this piece in the golden age, and I put the link underneath, the links underneath. You can go listen to the versions. For me, these two really recorded the greatest historical performance of this piece. So really, they're fantastic, but they're very different. So I'd like to talk about the difference and what they're trying to do. So first, the piece itself. It's interesting because it's built in three voices. You have the melody, you have the harmony, and the harmony itself is divided, it's subdivided in two voices because Beethoven asks to hold the bass. So there is a division in this line that is made all of 16th notes, and at the same time there is a unity in the flowing, in the fluidity that comes from passing in the same 16th note from right to left. It's as if Beethoven wanted it to sound almost like one also, even though it is divided. And that's basically the big question. How do you approach this theme? Do you bring out the theme more? Do you bring out the unity? And that's a very interesting question. So the way Yves Nat approaches this, he thinks that everything should be singing almost on the same level. So the left hand will be on the same level as the right hand, and the singing, the part of the singing will be equal. It will be done in the same way, both in the two hands. For him, the singing will be the unifying element, the fact that he sings equally everything and that all the 16th notes are almost equal. And what he will do is that he will make really extreme dynamics that will all the time interrupt the discourse, the musical discourse. So it's as if the unity will be all the time interrupted, not by the division of the voices, but by the dynamics. So if I will try now to do it a la Yves Nat, I will play it like that. The interruption of the left hand is really dramatic. Now, Backhaus, on the other hand, keeps the unity through the fluidity of the movement. So he will play always the melody more, and the harmony will play a bit like an accompaniment of a harp, and not in the same precision as in the right hand. More fluidity, it's a little bit faster as well, and even though he does dynamics, the dynamics are not interrupting the flow. So let's continue and see how they both build it differently. Now, Yves Nat makes something very interesting. There is now a subdivision of articulation, and And he really points it out. And through this, he builds up the whole development of this exposition. And also, he brings out the fluidity much more. So it will get faster and faster. Very dry in the pedal and quite fast at the end. On the other hand, Backhaus builds up this 2x2 in a very in a less accentuated way. For him, it's really the big line that matters. And once he comes to this climax, he will really measure the octaves, and he will calm it all down and end up this exposition in a way that says the Tempest is actually slowing down. It's a little bit calming down just before the development section. So that's, again, another effect. For this closing up of the exposition, and of course it puts you in another perspective for the attacking of the development section. So in the development section, Yves Nat, as he starts, he's consistent, he will use dynamic as a way to interrupt the flow and the discourse. On the other hand, as it continues, he goes back to the way that Backhaus chose, and he will always show a difference of balance between the two voices. So whenever the theme is in the hand that has the theme, it will be more. So the theme comes first in the left, then in the right, then in the left, then in the right. Every time that it switches hands, he will also switch the balance and always play the theme more. So this is something that they both, this passage, I have to say, they both treat in a similar way. For both of them, it's important to make a difference between the two elements, the harmonic and the melodic, because otherwise, of course, it's very confusing to the ear. Now let's get to the end and see how these two great pianists decide to close this Tempest Sonata. So for Backhaus, the sonata ends on the end of the Tempest. So for him, the Tempest slows down, it comes down, until it goes to the end and it stops. Now for Yves Nat, the Tempest never stops. It continues and it vanishes into the horizon. So it's probably continuing somewhere else in another place. It's not continuing here where we can see it, but it is continuing. More dynamic. You see, no slowing down, it just vanishes into the horizon. So these were my thoughts on these two great pianists, and I hope you enjoyed it and the version, and see you next time. Bye!